My very first exposure to an image pornographic was a magazine called Hustler that we buried near a creek. We'd ride our bikes into the woods below the city traffic, then we'd take turns leafing through it, so entranced we couldn't speak. There's a Hustler magazine buried on the banks of Stony Creek. My friends and I would ride our 10-speed bikes down there to take a little peek. There's a Hustler magazine buried on the banks of Stony Creek. Stony Creek runs southward many miles to deliver its tiny payload to the Middle Fork Vermilion River. If you happen to be walking on the banks of the muddy Stony and you spot a Hustler magazine, would you be so kind to phone me?
Yes, hello. I found a Hustler magazine on the banks of Stony Creek.
My very first exposure to an alcoholic beverage was a six-pack of my mother's beer I managed to sneak past. We treated it like gold or like an asset we could leverage. We sipped it very carefully like we could make it last. There's 3 cans of Coors Light buried on the banks of Stony Creek. We'd drink a sip or two and then we'd go behind a tree to take a leak. There's 3 cans of Coors Light buried on the banks of Stony Creek. Stony Creek runs southward many miles to deliver its tiny payload to the Middle Fork Vermilion River. If you happen to be walking on the banks of the muddy Stony and you spot 3 cans of Coors Light, would you be so kind to phone me?
Yes, hello. I found 3 cans of Coors Light.
My very first exposure to pregnancy prevention was a box of condoms my friend stole from his college-age big brother. They were very brightly colored with French ticklers as extension. We ran beside the creek bed shaking our ticklers at each other. There's a box of condoms buried on the banks of Stony Creek. They were ribbed for her enjoyment and the wrapper was shiny and sleek. There's a box of condoms buried on the banks of Stony Creek. Stony Creek runs southward many miles to deliver its tiny payload to the Middle Fork Vermilion River. If you happen to be walking on the banks of the muddy Stony and you spot a box of condoms, would you be so kind to phone me?
Yes, hello. I found a box of French ticklers on the banks of the Stony.
Very first exposure to behavior which was flagrant. I stole a pair of panties and a bra from my friend's laundry. I sniffed the soiled panties and I found them very fragrant. Where I spotted trying on the bra, I would have been in quite the quandary. There's a bra and panties buried on the banks of Stony Creek. The playthings of a horny kid, a perverted little freak. There's a bra and panties buried on the banks of Stony Creek. Stony Creek runs southward many miles to deliver its tiny payload to the Middle Fork Vermilion River. If you happen to be walking on the banks of the muddy Stony and you spot a bra and panties, would you be so kind to phone me?
Yes, hello. I found bra and panties on Stony Creek.
My very first exposure to a sexual encounter was a latex love doll my friend's dad had saved for an occasion. We blew her plump with a tire pump and then we took our turn to mount her. And we used the Hustler magazine for added inspiration. There's a latex love doll buried on the banks of Stony Creek. It didn't moan, but all the friction made the rubber very loudly squeak. There's a latex love doll buried on the banks of Stony Creek. Stony Creek runs southward many miles to deliver its tiny payload to the Middle Fork Vermilion River. If you happen to be walking on the banks of the muddy Stony and you spot a latex love doll, would you be so kind to phone me?
Yes, hello. Is this the freak that owns the love doll? I found a love doll on the banks of Stony Creek.